Hello students, in the last class we have completed the first sensory organ, that is the eye. Now we will start the next sensory organ, that is ear. So let's just see first of all ear, what is the location. Here it is present on either side of the skull, and here this ear, the function of ear is to hear. First one is hearing, but the main or the sole function of the ear is not to hear. The very important or the sole function of the ear is to balance of our body. Without hearing also we can survive, but without balance we cannot. Okay, so the sole function of the ear is to balance, and the another function also ear performs is hearing. So in case of human ear, it's going to have three parts. Okay, so let's just see first of all the structure of the ear. It's very small part, not that much. So let's just see first of all, this is the first part, which is going to have also another function. See, this is the outermost part of the ear called as pinna. So this pinna have numbers, many grooves present. Why these grooves are present? So that from the wide range we can able to get the waves, and that will be directed to the next part, that is the external auditory meatus or the external auditory canal. So what is the next part? This part will be called as the external auditory canal, or you can say this is meatus. So this external auditory meatus have the length of around 8 centimeter in a adult human. This external auditory meatus is provided with the hair so that it can prevent the entry of the foreign particle or any organisms or anything to enter inside, or it can trap also the dust particle. Next one, it's also going to have a very important gland that produce the ear wax. So what is that? This is the ceruminous gland. So ceruminous gland is actually the ear wax or cerumen producing gland, which protect and nourish the next part, that is the eardrum. What is the another name of eardrum? That is called as the tympanic membrane. So this is called as the tympanic membrane. So up to the tympanic membrane, this pinna and the external auditory meatus will comprise the first part of the ear, that is the external ear. So this is the external ear. Then after that we will come to a bony cage. So inside the tympanic membrane, from behind, it is going to have a bony cage like this. Okay, so it's going to have three bones in it. They are the small bones present in a bony cage that will be your middle ear. So this middle ear comprised of a bony cage within which we have also the smallest bone of our body, that is the stapes. So here what is it? We are going to have the bones, that is the first bone is malleus, then after that it is going to have the second bone, that is incus, and the third bone we have the stapes or stapes, you can say. Okay, so how many bones we have? Three bones. What are they? First one is the malleus, second bone is the incus, and the third bone, which is the smallest one. So this is the smallest bone here. What is that? That is called as the stapes. Malleus, incus and stapes. Okay, so these three bones will comprise the ear ossicles. On either side we have three bones, so 6 bones we have total in both the two ear. Then after that, let's just move to the internal ear. So in the internal ear, what we are going to have? See, at right angle we are going to have 3 semicircular canals. Okay, so here we are going to have the 3 semicircular canals like this. Okay, they are all present in right angles. Then after that, here we have one important part, that is two important part that maintain our balance. Okay, so what is this? This is the uh, two chambers we have. Okay, so here this is the internal ear, which comprise of two parts. One is the organ of hearing and another is the organ of balancing. So actually it should be a little above. So let me draw here. So this part will go a little above. So these are the three semicircular canal, and here this is the utriculus, sacculus, and then the semicircular canal. Okay, so semicircular canal and organ of hearing. So here this semicircular canal and the organ of balancing, that together is called as the vestibular apparatus. So this vestibular apparatus is the organ of balancing, right? So organ of balancing, which is going to have two parts. What are the two parts? First one is the semicircular canal. So how many semicircular canals we have? We have three semicircular canals. All the three semicircular canals are going to have the position present in the right angles. Then after that we have another organ that is called as the otolith organ. So this otolith organ have two parts. One is this part, second one is somewhere here. So here this is the next part, this is the second part. So it is going to have utriculus. Okay, so this is the utriculus first part, and second one, this is this part, this is the sacculus. Okay, utriculus and sacculus, it's going to be called as the otolith organ. Now the last part, which is the organ of hearing, what is that? This is a coil part. Okay, a coil, snail like coiling it is going to have, it's called as the cochlea. Okay, so in the ear, this internal part, it's going to have two regions. One is the vestibular apparatus, which is the organ of balancing. This is going to maintain our balance, which is the sole function of the ear. And next one is the cochlea, which is going to maintain, or it's going to be sense, it's going to sense, carry the sense of waves, or it will carry the sound. Next one, this part that will be called as the internal ear. Okay, so our ear is going to have three parts. External ear, that will comprise of pinna and external auditory meatus. Second one is the middle ear. In the middle ear we are going to have three bones. There are malleus, incus and stapes. Now a very important thing we need to know, here we have two windows also. What are the windows here? So in the junction of the middle ear and internal ear, we are going to have one window here and another window, this is here. So what are they? They're called as, this is going to be this one. This is called as the oval window. This is called as the oval window, or also called as fenestra ovalis. You don't have to remember, it's simply you can remember this is the oval window. And towards this side we have another window. This is called as round window. Round window is also called as the fenestra rotundus. Okay, and here we are going to have one canal. So what is that canal called? This is a tube present. So what is that tube? This is called as the eustachian tube. Okay, so this is the tube called as the eustachian tube. Now here, this structure is the structure of the ear. Now we will see the mechanism of hearing and the mechanism of balancing. So you can see here, that is in the vestibular apparatus, what we have seen, the two parts, one is the semicircular canal and another is the otolith organ. So in the semicircular canal, what is present? See here, these are the three canals present. Towards the base of each canal, if you can see, then it is going to have some oval parts. So these are the oval parts present. So what is that oval part called as? These are called as the cristae ampullaris. Okay, ampulla means swollen part. So it's going to be called as the cristae ampullaris, which is going to maintain our dynamic balance in any plane or axis we are going to have. So that plane the individual can stand, or we can balance ourselves in dynamic positions also. That is maintained by the three semicircular canals. Towards the base of each semicircular canal, we are going to have the Christie capillaries. Okay. Next one, you can see we are going to have utriculus and sacculus. Okay, utriculus and sacculus will have the next part which is sensitive to static balance. Remember, it's going to maintain the static balance. This otolith organ, which is going to have two parts, one is utriculus and sacculus, it's going to have an elevation. So what is that? This is called as the macula. So remember, what is the function of macula? It's going to maintain our static balance. So we have two important functions in the vestibular apparatus. We have two parts, semicircular canal and otolith organ. Semicircular canal, towards the base, it's going to have a swollen part called as the Christie ampullaris, which is going to maintain our dynamic balance. Okay. Second thing, if it is in case of otolith organ, also two parts are there. One is utriculus and another is sacculus. In both utriculus and sacculus, we are going to have one elevated heel-like part, a little elevation. So that part will be called as macula. So this macula this macula is going to maintain our static balance. So remember, the vestibular apparatus, both of them together maintain our balance. For static balance, what we are going to have? Macula. For dynamic balance, what we are going to have? We have the Christie ampullaris. So both semicircular canal and otolith organ, they are maintaining the balance. After that, let's just move to the next structure, that is the organ of hearing. Okay. So this part I hope you remember. Just remember these things, very much important. Whatever I have said, you just try to note it down, then you can remember all these things. After that, let's just move to the structure of cochlea. Okay. So what happens to the cochlea now? See, so this cochlea is a round coil structure. Okay. So how many coiling it is going to have? It's going to have 2 and 3/4 coil. Okay, so it's going to have 2 and 3/4 coil. That means two complete coil is going to have, and on the third coil, which is going to be divided into three, suppose 4 part, so 3/4 will be covered. So if you uncoil the cochlea, how it will be look like? Okay, so it's look like this. Okay, so it's the structure. Here it's oval window, here it's the round window. Okay, so it's like this. Okay, so here we are going to have the oval window, and this one is the round window. Okay, now this oval window, it's going to get the wave, sound wave, by this bone that's called a stapes. Now, if you uncoil the cochlea, you will get this structure. Okay, the coiling is there, 2 and 3/4 coil. If you uncoil it, then you will get a tube, and it's going to have three parts, three chambers, right? So what are the chambers? See, first this chamber, what we can call it? This is called this is called as the scala vestibuli. Okay, next one, here we have a membrane. Okay, what is this membrane called? This is called as the Reisner's membrane. Okay, next, middle chamber, this is called as scala media. Okay, and here we are going to have another membrane. This membrane is called as the basilar membrane, right? And the third one, this is called as the scala tympani. Okay, so this is the cochlea. From inside, it is going to have the three chambers. Above we have scala vestibuli, middle we have scala media, inner we have scala tympani. Scala vestibuli and scala media are separated by Reisner's membrane, and scala media and scala tympani are separated by the basilar membrane. So you can see the scala vestibuli and scala tympani, both these two have a common opening here towards the U-shaped structure. So this tip is called as the helicotrema. So this is called as helicotrema. Now if it comes to, yes, in the internal ear we are filled with liquid. So we are going to have two types of liquid here. So in scala vestibuli and scala tympani, as it is the same chamber, it's just curved. So it's going to have one liquid that is called as the perilymph, and in the scala media we have another liquid. This is called as the endolymph. Okay, so we are going to have two types of liquid, perilymph and endolymph. Now, so here above the basilar membrane, we are going to have some hair cells. Okay, so this hair cells, what is this? This is called as the organ of Corti. So this is the unit of hearing. The organ of hearing is cochlea, and unit of hearing will be called as the organ of Corti. Now, above this organ of Corti, we are going to have membranes like this. So what is that membrane called? This is called as the tectorial membrane. So let us see what happens when we hear. Okay, first of all, the air which is carrying the wave will enter via the pinna. It will enter into the external auditory meatus. Then after that, it will hit the eardrum or tympanic membrane. Whenever tympanic membrane vibrates, along with that, the bone malleus will vibrate. When malleus vibrates, it will pass this vibration to incus, and incus will pass this vibration to the stapes. Whenever the stapes will vibrate, stapes will pass this vibration to the oval window. Oval window vibrates. Then the wave will be transmitted to the liquid, that is the perilymph. So this perilymph will start to vibrate, and whenever the perilymph will vibrate, it will hit this membrane as well as this membrane. Okay, it will pass via the helicotrema. It will go to this part. Okay, right? So this way the movement of the wave will occur. Then after that, what will happen? Above this scala media, what we are going to have? We have the organ of Corti. So this organ of Corti will also get this sense. These are nothing but just some hair cells which are sensitive to the waves. This wave, whenever it is moving to this part, then this wave will transmit to the scala media. So the scala media is filled with endolymph. Endolymph will also start to vibrate. Whenever endolymph will vibrate, it will hit this tectorial membrane, and whenever tectorial membrane vibrates, just behind that organ of Corti is present. So organ of Corti will also vibrate. Okay, so excess of wave will pass out through this eustachian tube, that is different part. But just behind the organ of Corti, what we are going to have the dendrites. So this way we have the dendrites. Dendrite will carry now this electrical impulse, because see, wave is coming via the external ear, then entering into the middle ear. Via the middle ear, it will enter into the internal ear. From the internal ear, the liquid endolymph and perilymph, they are vibrating, cause the sense in the organ of Corti. Whenever organ of Corti gets actually stimulated, it convert the wave energy into electrical impulse, and this electrical impulse will be carried by the dendrites present just beneath the organ of Corti. So what are they? They are called as the auditory nerve. So this auditory nerve will carry this impulse, sense of wave. That means the sound wave, that is now in the term electrical impulse, that will be carried to the brain, and the brain will decode the sound. We have Broca's area, we have Wernicke's area. They are going to give us the sense, or we can able to decode the sounds, what we are been spoken, or what has been spoken, we can able to understand with the help of the Wernicke's area. Is present in the cerebrum. So this is how we can able to hear. So this structure is very much important. In the NCRT also we have another diagrams which have the transverse section of this cochlea, and you will get the round structure where we have to divide the three parts: scala vestibulis, scala media, scala tympani. Then we have to have the two membranes. Scala vestibuli and media are separated by the Reisner's membrane, and scala media and scala tympani are separated by basilar membrane. Above the basilar membrane, we have the organ of Corti, which is a unit of hearing. Above the organ of Corti, we are going to have the tectorial membrane. Whenever the stapes carry the sound wave, it will hit the oval window. Oval window transmit or pass this wave to the perilymph. Perilymph will transmit this wave to the scala tympani as well as the scala media. Endolymph will get this wave. Now tectorial membrane vibrates and organ of Corti will get stimulated. The wave energy will be transmitted to the electrical waves. So electrical impulse, now it will be carried by the dendrites. Then dendrites are nothing but the auditory nerve will carry this sense electrical impulse to the brain, and we can able to hear. So this is how we can able to hear. Function of ear, that is hearing and balancing, we have completed. So that's all about the video. We have completed the neural control and coordination. So that's all about it. I hope you understand. In the next video we will start the next chapter, that is chemical control and coordination. Till now, thank you so much.